Hello, it's the Curious Flo, back with another video, and today we are going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 4 of Fear the Walking Dead, Blood in the Streets. Blood in the Streets, more like blood on the Nick, because he was covered in blood. This episode is dealing with three main plot lines, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the one that I think was sort of the main plot line of the episode, but I don't think really is going to have too much impact on the overall season. It'll have a little bit, but I'll get to that. So we had everybody on the boat. That's what was going down. We had Jack, if that's even his real name, and Jesse McCartney break onto the boat, and they took everybody hostage, which was all very intense, and I was very proud of all of our little band of survivors for kind of pulling together and being able to kind of keep their heads for the most part and sort of orchestrate an escape plan. And obviously they had a little bit of help at the very end there, but they actually all jumped together to kill Jesse McCartney. I just think it's funny that Jesse McCartney is in this episode. So yeah, overall that plot line I think is obviously Connor is going to be a big player, I think, going forward. But the fact that they killed off Jesse McCartney, again, I don't really remember his character's name. He's Jesse McCartney. Since they killed him off, I don't feel like a lot of what happened, other than Alicia and Travis going with Connor, will have a lot of impact going forward. But as I say every week, there's a lot of character development. I feel like we got to, again, just know a lot about the characters, especially because they're all sitting there and they're all just talking to each other, and poor Chris getting made fun of because people think he has a crush on his stepsister. I mean, I've sort of been getting those vibes too, but why you gotta make fun of him for it? I mean, he knows it's never gonna happen, right? Uh-oh. I mean, we did have a lot of flashbacks in this episode. Are we gonna get step-siblings making out? Is this turning into Lost? Whoa. Next, we have Nick, as previously stated, covered in blood, stumbling through a camp, then some streets, so blood in the streets, and then making his way to sort of like a new development, finding one of Strand's business associates. And before we move too much onto the Strand backstory, I just need to say that I am so proud of Nick, who again, as you all know, is basically my favorite character on this show, for performing such a careful walker kill. That was like beautifully orchestrated with him like making the noise and like throwing the bottle and like running behind the tent and like luring the walker to a place where he could be completely safe with like, okay, I'm gonna line up this like screwdriver to the head. But they don't do that on The Walking Dead. Like, yay, good job for The Walking Dead. Like, you're coming out swinging with your walker kills. So hopefully going forward, we will continue to have smart people that don't walk through the forest by themselves all the freaking time. All right, back to Strand. We got to sort of see his backstory. And as much as this being a backstory could have potentially made me like, oh, he has like this tragic backstory that I want to like love him now because I know I've been hating on Strand a lot. I still don't think he's a good guy. I care more about him as a character because I have this backstory now, because before he was just kind of a jerk all the time and we had no context for anything that he was doing. So now I get it that he's trying to get back to his partner, and that makes sense, and, you know, there's a little bit of like a romantic thing. Strand is still a jerk. Like, I don't care that you got a little romance thing going on. Like, you're still just killing people. I don't know. Or leaving them for dead in the middle of the ocean, which is basically killing people. I am a little skeptical after what seems like a few weeks. I might give it 2 months since like society fell apart, but I'm saying it's probably been about 4 to 6 weeks since, you know, all this stuff sort of started. I mean, we know that it was a few weeks when they were still like in quarantine and stuff back in season 1, but I feel like since society really collapsed and like the military was overrun and like all that sort of stuff, it's been like a month maybe. We don't have an exact timeline, but that quickly for the like Connor situation to have happened, like that's the sort of stuff that happens extremely gradually. I mean, you don't just build a cult in a day. I find it hard to believe that Connor, and just Jesse McCartney's character as well, because he was kind of the big jerk. It seems like even Jesse McCartney's character sort of felt like Connor wasn't like the worst person on the planet. But just that we're already at the point that we're like, ooh, look at this like group of bad guy survivors that are gonna kill lots of people and use this pregnant lady as bait and like all that sort of stuff. It feels very much like, see, we can be the Walking Dead too. Look at us with our big bad. His name's Connor and we don't meet him till the end of the episode. You know, like it feels very much that they're like, come on, Walking Dead viewers, come over to this side. Which I get in some respects, but I feel like it's a little on the nose, and I don't find it realistic that something like that would be happening this quick. Even if my timeline is off and it's been 6 months, I really do not think it has been 6 months. I think it's been like 2 at the most, maybe 3, but 6 is crazy. But even if it's been 6 months, 6 months is still a very short amount of time to have banded together that many people to just suddenly be like, we're gonna go kill tons of people on the ocean and steal all their boats. Like, that's stupid. Overall, though, I think this was my favorite episode of season 2 so far. I think that they did a great job of making a compelling story that lasted without the need of a ton of action. I mean, there was like a lot of tension. Obviously, we had people in hostage situations, but there wasn't just like nonstop walker killing and people running from walkers and stuff like that. The walkers that were in this episode were basically not a threat at all because Nick is so smart and I love him. So going forward, it'll be interesting to see how this whole Connor thing plays out. I wonder if maybe I'll eat my words and sort of be like, oh, this actually isn't as bad as I thought it was, and Jesse McCartney's character was just sort of a jerk and made it seem like they were really far gone and like killing a bunch of people. Maybe Connor really is trying to do the best with what he can, and this is just what he thinks he needs to do now, and it's sort of a little bit more believable. As it stands right now, though, having only seen up to episode 4 of season 2, I feel like it's a little much. But we'll see. We'll see going forward. What did you guys think of this episode? What did you think of Strand's backstory? I'm excited to see where that's going, even if I'm still not a huge fan of Strand himself. What are we going to see with Travis and Alicia going forward? I hope everybody's okay, but it's cool to see the group split apart a little bit. So let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next week for another Fear the Walking Dead episode. Bye!